We are still coming to you live from the Nasrec Expo Center. So what you're watching there on your screens are some of the visuals, right, of some of the members of the media and others, of course, interested parties who would be gathered here at the Nasrec Expo Center ahead of that Leaders Summit of the G20. Also on your screens as well, what you can see are some of the visuals of the arrivals, right? We have seen quite a number of heads of state arriving earlier on today. We did have UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer also making his arrival there, escorted by the Deputy Minister of International Relations, that's Alvin Bortis. And it's interesting because he's a man who is leaving a UK where he is under pressure, especially when it comes to the affordability crisis. You think about people there, the cost of living is causing quite a big headache for them. And also at the same time, you do have a jobs crisis. And he was talking to reporters on his way to South Africa saying that if you are looking to address some of the issues of, the cost of living crisis, you do then need to engage with other parties. And I'm not sure if we still have some of those visuals, if we can show you what is currently taking place. Also, we are expecting that Qatar is also going to be landing a little later on. Also, anticipating the arrival of the presidency of the G20 Summit last year, previously, before South Africa, that is Brazil. Remember, Brazil handed over to South Africa the presidency of the G20. And it's interesting because Brazil was also the reason why you then see the social summit, because it is something that South Africa also inherited from Brazil, which also signals the fact that you do have the global south, which is now pushing for some of the issues. But interesting, when you think about Qatar, for example, also arriving here, not a member of the G20, but also coming as an invitee. You look at the conversations, particularly around the Canadian Prime Minister, for example, Mark Carney. He is hoping that, according to some of the reports from his own country, that when he gets here, he possibly may have an audience with the Qataris in order to be able to also speak about some of the issues that continue then to plague his country. Remember, the tensions that currently exist between Canada as well as the United States. So we are not the only country that has caught the ire of the US President Donald Trump, for example. So you do have a number of other countries who are watching, including also the bloc, right? That is the European Union, that is also looking at some of the conversations that are going to be happening here against the backdrop of what is going on. Remember those tariffs that the US also put in place, not only causing a headache for some of the countries, but also the EU bloc as a whole. At some point, the EU was talking about how does it begin to respond to this as a bloc. So some of these arrivals are quite key, because it's not just about what is going to take place in the eyes of you and I. It is also going to be important to know the bilateral conversations that are going to be taking place between the different countries. The rooms have been made available, so who goes with who in order to be able to speak about some of the conversations and the bilateral agreements that you need to put in place for the different countries, because it's not only about the declaration, but the wording of the declaration also becomes critically important. Because when you think, for example, to Brazil, right, last year there was that thorny issue that Brazil also raised, maybe taxing the wealth, which did not really get a resounding applause from many countries, and it then ended up having to abandon that particular ship. So it speaks to the expression of the declaration in itself, that you may have the document, but the wording of the document is just as important, with the Sherpas working throughout the night in order to be able to get that consensus, because consensus is quite important. It's unlike other blocks, it's unlike other meetings. This particular gathering actually works on issues around consensus, because that is where the nub of the issue is. But as you saw those visuals, right, there is a man who is here next to me who is responsible for everything that you see here, and I don't want his job, because it is one of those jobs where you really need to make sure that systems are working. But credit to Khutso Matlala, Head of News Resources, who is responsible for everything that you see. And I don't know if we can bring up that shot there, just to show you what we have been able to do as the SABC, right? This is the studio where we are, the pop-up studio, not very far from where we are. Right next door, in fact, there is that Channel 404 studio, but also the radio stations are also here. You have reporters who are stationed here with some live units who will be able to bring us blow-by-blow accounts of what exactly is taking place. And the man of the hour, Khutso Matlala, is here to tell us just how ready are we as the leaders are expected. It's a big weekend, as we sometimes call it, weekend in cool.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are ready. And hi, Bongi.
Hi, Party.
Thanks for the credentials.
Of course, you deserve them.
No, we are ready. We've been ready for a while, but the planning started quite a long time ago. We've been talking about it for a couple of months, but we started coming here at NASREC around June, May. To start looking at the venue, to start seeing where we can place what. And then there's a lot of the technical and the logistical planning. I'm much more involved on the technical one, but also quite a lot on the logistics one.
At the risk of not sounding like I know what's going on technically because you are the man, but please take us through, what does it take to have, you know, all these studios working, particularly when it comes to the technical aspect? Because we can have all the content, but if we can't broadcast it to the viewers, it's futile.
Oh yes. It takes quite a lot. And with the experience that we have with the teams, fortunately, we've been host broadcaster for events like BRICS, COP. When COP came to South Africa in 2011, we were the host broadcast. I think we've done BRICS twice. So we are used to the magnitude of such, and not to leave out elections, which is probably the biggest production that we do. So all that experience actually helps us to make it look like it's easy. So as you know, SABC is the host broadcaster, so the world is relying on us for all the footage that is being captured here at the airports, in the plenary.
So does this mean, in practical terms, we are feeding the entire world with what is currently happening?
Yes, we are the only one feeding the entire world with what is currently happening. All the visuals from when the leaders arrive, to when they arrive here, to when they do press conferences in the plenary, the photo opportunity moment, when they walk in on the red carpet, it's all us feeding the world, using different platforms to do that. Fortunately, technology has come towards us, and we have many options to make such things easy, which were quite difficult to do in the past. So yeah, we are doing it. It may look easy when you see the final product, but there's quite a lot of planning for you to get everything right.
It certainly does look easy, because all I do is walk in here and I sit and then I ask for this and that, and then boom,
yes,
I'm on air. But when you think about, for example, something like where we are right now, the pop-up channels, right? Because we've seen the SABC do this even with the elections. What goes into setting it up? Because it is, available on the SABC Plus app, but how do we get it all working?
Okay. That's a good question. So over and above the host broadcaster, as you are mentioning, we are doing the pop-up and we are doing the news channel. So we are wearing 4 hats, because there's radio as well. But for pop-up, broadcasting is quite expensive. It's not easy to just set up 2 studios and have 2 OB vans, 3 OB vans to do all of this. So for pop-up, we're actually going for the easier, more smarter technology to do that. By that, we are using computers, we are using software. It's actually produced slightly differently from producing a normal channel. But with doing that, we are actually opening the gates for introducing this technology, so that it's not the costs that stop you from having a pop-up channel. It must be other factors. So we are bringing down those costs to saying, let's use what technology has given to us, what is available, what is agile, for us to be able to produce what we are producing. So us talking, we are going through computers and software, and it ends up on a digital IP platform. People are watching us on phones, on computers, on devices. We are also producing it using the same devices here to go out. So that's how we do pop-up.
So for someone wondering that, so is this just for now, or can I be able to access news on the SABC Plus app? Can they?
Oh yes. So in the SABC app, we have the news channel there, we have Lehigh there, and we have all our radio stations there. But when we have special events, we then pop up a channel and say this one will focus on G20 only. We started on the 17th. it ends on Sunday. But on there, we also have the Madlanga pop-up. We have the ad hoc committee pop-up as well. So that's what a digital platform allows you to do. You're not limited to Spectrum or to somebody or to an authority saying you can only have so much channels. You can just keep popping them up, hence the word, like a pop-up store. We have a pop-up channel, and if there was another event simultaneously at the same time as this one, we would just pop up another channel.
All right, so it's good that I'm popping up now, because then I'm getting to have an idea of what working for a pop-up is like. And I must say, it's been different. It's really been different to have to watch on our phones and be able to keep connecting with the news. But it's also interesting, and it's also keeping us up to date. So let's speak about the next big projects. I know the elections are coming.
Yes.
Let's talk about the next big projects, because the viewers would like to know, how are we taking them on board when it comes to all of these developments in the country?
So the next biggest one that we are going to be doing so far on the calendar, it is actually the elections. And if the viewers want to know, we've already started planning. We don't know the date, but the planning has already started. We need to move with the times. By the time those elections happen, technology would have shifted as well. So you want to see what is out there that you can use, mainly to bring down costs, but to also to improve on what the viewers see. So we want to do more with less. So we have to start early to engage with the manufacturers out there, to research, to see what is available, to give them the best, and to give them even more coverage, because we just want to keep covering more and more, but spending less and less to do that. So yeah.
Okay,
that's how we do it.
So good for the purse, but also good for us, because we get to be on television. Thank you so much, Mpati, as I call you. Thank you so much, Mpati, Head of News Resources. That's Khutso Matlala there, the man responsible for you to even see me transmitting right now. He is, in fact, quite instrumental when it comes to that